Imagine waking up tomorrow to this headline. Iran now holds enough uranium for multiple nuclear bombs. This isn't a rumor. The International Atomic Energy Agency confirms Iran has crossed the threshold. Diplomacy is collapsing. Israel is already striking nuclear sites. The U.S. says war is on the table. And in the streets of Tehran, Riyadh, even Washington, people wonder, is the Middle East about to become the world's next nuclear flashpoint? Welcome to Safe Zone Analysis, where we don't sell fear, we deliver truth. Because today's headlines can become tomorrow's reality, and knowing the facts is your first defense. Tonight, we're digging into the story that could reshape global security for decades. What if Iran successfully developed a strategic nuclear bomb? We'll break down the intelligence reports, the regional reactions, the role of world leaders like Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, and Benjamin Netanyahu, and the very real risks of nuclear escalation in the Middle East. Today, the world faces a stark awakening, not a hypothetical in a movie, but a geopolitical reality. Iran has quietly expanded its uranium stockpile to nearly weapons-grade levels. As of early September 2025, the International Atomic Energy Agency confirms Iran now holds approximately 440 kilograms of 60% enriched uranium, enough to produce about 10 nuclear bombs if further refined. That figure is no bluff. It's real, and this is the new countdown. Iran has enriched uranium to 60% purity, far exceeding the civilian threshold of 3.67%. U.S. intelligence agencies assess Iran could enrich the remaining 90% to weapons grade in weeks to months. Some estimates say enough for 22 bombs in just 5 months. Meanwhile, diplomacy is breaking down. Britain, France, and Germany have triggered the snapback mechanism of the UN's nuclear deal, reimposing sanctions unless Iran returns to negotiations within 30 days. Tehran's foreign ministry denounced this, warning it may withdraw entirely from the nuclear non-treaty and halt inspections by the IAEA. On the military front, the US and Israel have already acted. In June, they struck Iran's enrichment sites at Natanz Fordo and Isfahan. CIA officials claimed the strike severely damaged Iran's program, while the Pentagon estimates the attacks could delay progress by up to 2 years. But independent analysts warn Iran can rebuild in months, because knowledge and critical infrastructure remain intact. What does this mean for ordinary people? In Tehran, markets shudder as currencies spiral and inflation bites. Families face soaring food and fuel prices. In hushed conversations, fathers try to explain to their children what nuclear deterrence really means. On the world stage, leaders raise the stakes. Donald Trump warns that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon and insists that war is on the table. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi responds defiantly, promising to defend his country's sovereignty. Israel's Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, insists that regional security is at stake, hinting at further strikes. In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia convenes an emergency Gulf Cooperation Council session. Their air defenses go on red alert. Missiles are quietly moved into position. For ordinary Saudis, the fear is no longer abstract. People wonder if their own neighborhoods could become targets in a nuclear showdown. At the United Nations, the Secretary General calls an emergency meeting, but Russia and China veto further sanctions. Europe pleads for renewed diplomacy, while the chamber sits deadlocked. Experts are equally blunt. U.S. Intelligence Chief Tulsi Gabbard recently testified that Iran is not building a weapon yet, but the trajectory is deeply alarming. IAEA Director Rafael Grossi warns that with inspections restricted, the international community may soon lose all visibility of Iran's nuclear program. And here's where this stops being a distant geopolitical chess match. It becomes a question of how the world adapts or fails to. Governments posture, militaries prepare, but ordinary people, families, workers, communities are left to face the ripple effects. Markets in Tehran, Riyadh, and even London or New York can swing overnight. Oil prices surge, food inflation spreads, airline routes are disrupted, regional militaries brace for conflict. For you, for me, for ordinary people, the lesson is stark. Stay informed, but only from verified sources like the IAEA or United Nations briefings. Understand your own communities. Readiness. Do you know where emergency shelters are? Do you have basic supplies prepared? Recognize the difference between political noise and actual movement on the ground. And above all, support diplomacy, because diplomacy is our best safeguard. This is Safety Zone Analysis, where we don't fear you, we tell you the truth. Because today's headlines can become tomorrow's reality. If this deep dive helped you grasp what's really at stake, hit subscribe. We're here to prep, not panic, and empower, not alarm.